This question comes from Alberto, and they asked me, can you get a job right after college without getting an internship? Essentially, can you get a job at one of the big four accounting firms or regional firm if you didn't do an internship while in college? Now, two things I'm gonna say before I start this video is one, obviously make sure you hit a like and subscribe, because obviously I'm doing tons of educational content all the time, even so daily uploads. And in addition, if you do have any comments or questions or basically different ideas of other videos you'd like me to film, feel free to post it in the comment section below. First off, and jumping right into it, because I hate when YouTubers ramble on, yes, you can easily get an accounting job even if you didn't do the internship. So on the second part of this video, I'm basically gonna now talk about how to do that, right? You may be wondering, okay, I can get a job and I don't need the internship, but how do I actually get that job? Now, when I was in college, you can do the internship the summer after your junior year. You do the internship, they give you the job offer at the end of your of that summer. So then basically your entire senior year, you basically don't have to worry about getting a job because you're pretty much all set. But if you didn't do an internship, you may be a little bit scared. You're like, shoot, I'm gonna be racking up student debt. Like, how do I exactly get a job? Now, for me, luckily, I did get the internship at Deloitte, and then also got the full-time offer for me to start when I left college. But for some of my other friends, they did not get the internship. So here's basically the best advice. Always try to apply for the internships. Now, there's gonna be two groups of people watching this video. One is like, say you did apply for the internship, and for whatever reason, the recruiters didn't feel that you were ready. So they basically politely declined for you to basically start as an intern at one of the firms. So that's gonna be the first case scenario. Second case scenario for some people watching this video is that you basically didn't apply at all. You're like, look, I'm really busy with work. I don't really care to do an internship. I'm just gonna focus on my studies, try to get the best grades that I can. Now, in either case, the first thing you wanna do is make sure you network with all the recruiters. And I've talked about this before tons of times. Anytime, whether it's a big four or a regional firm, or even like, let's say a mom and pop accounting thing or whatever, make sure you go to every meet and greet. Make sure you meet all the recruiters, get all their business cards, get all their information. Make sure you're sending up follow-up emails. You want to make sure that when they set up those kiosks in, like say, the center of your business school, or when they have many career fairs or whatever the case is, that when they see you, they should immediately be able to recognize you, even to the point where they might say hi to you before you say hi to them. That's the first thing you want to make sure you're doing, is basically, and again, whether you want to get the internship or not, your ultimate goal is the job, right? And I'm telling you, if you meet all the right recruiters, and I've said this before, that a lot of my interviews weren't really like, hi, I'm so-and-so, nice to meet you. It was more, hey Mark, good to see you again. Like, how's classes been going? How's that parkour thing been going that you talk about? Those are the type of interviews that you want. And the way that you get those interviews is through those recruiters that you're gonna meet through networking, right? As you can imagine, if you meet somebody for 10 minutes, it's a lot trickier to figure out what this person's about than, let's say, if you've seen somebody at 5 meet and greets. You've seen them interact for a couple hours at each meet and greet. You can tell they're professional. You can tell they're mature. You think about it, a lot of recruiters think, okay, can I have this guy or this girl work at the job, go out, let's say in whatever city you're in, and say, oh, I work at Ernst and Young or PwC, or a regional firm like BDO, and will they represent the firm in the best way possible? So make sure you network. The second thing I do, and again, whether you're in that boat where you applied for the internship and got declined, or where you didn't apply at all, is that as now your senior year is kind of getting to the end, right? Start hitting up recruiters. Start saying, hey, hey, Julie, it was really nice meeting you. Hey, Matt, it was really nice meeting you. My senior year is coming to an end. I have my 150 credit hours, because they might ask that. You have to be, especially now with a lot of firms, they actually want to see that you're CPA eligible. What that means is you have to either say, hey, I've already done my 150 credit hours, or B, I have a plan, whether you're going to do, let's say, another year in school or the MSA program that some schools have, or you're just going to hustle and do some other classes or whatever the case is. So you can hit them up and say, look, I have my 150 credit hours already done. Me and you've kept in touch for a little bit because I've been doing all this networking. I'm just curious, my goal is to get a job at your firm. What do you think are the best next steps to do that? Because for a lot of recruiters, they might actually be hiring full-time people immediately out of college, and they will be, right? Especially, like I said, if they're setting up those kiosks, if you've been networking, emailing them and contacting them as much as you can. As you can imagine, it can be very intense, and I know it's very, very stressful being in the position. I mean, I remember what it's like, especially trying to get the internship, because I'm like, okay, if I get the internship, then that means I can start working there, which means then hopefully I can do a good job and then get the full-time offer, right? Just kind of that like first breadcrumb, and I remember what it's like. But the biggest thing is network. interview well. I have links just below in the description to basically all my accounting interview videos about interview tips and everything. And then in addition, make sure you constantly talking to the recruiters, because again, everyone's gonna have good grades. The biggest thing is networking, so they can basically see you in so many different settings that they can basically trust you're somebody to represent their firm. And then in addition, like I said, because you haven't done the internship and you want to jump basically right into a full-time position immediately after college, make sure you contact them and let them know that, right? Now, they might even offer this to you already. I've seen that happen where they say, hey, I see that you're graduating soon. What's your career possibilities? Because remember, and this is a big thing a lot of people forget about. It's just as stressful for recruiters to get potential job applicants that it is the other way around. And what I mean is, I remember being friends with recruiters who were stressed, being like, shoot, if I give out 8 job offers and all of them accept it, it's too many people. But if I only give out 5 and 2 of them accept it, then I'm actually under quota based off what the firm wants. And it's very stressful for recruiters. So remember that not only is it stressful for you trying to get a job, but it's just as stressful for recruiters. So make it easy on them by letting them know, hey, you know what? I want to really get a job here. Me and you've been keeping in touch for a while. This is my dream job. I'd love to work at BDO or Grant Thornton or one of the big 4 or whatever the case is. And I promise you, the networking, the constantly staying in touch with them, and especially the constant interaction, whether it's in person or basically online, is the guaranteed way to get a job.